Good afternoon. This Thursday, February 22nd. This is the Townsend Finance Committee. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 4:01 p.m. And where we have remote members, we need a voice roll call.
Carolyn Mazikas,
Mark Hussey.
Andrea Wood,
Sam Grant.
And Don Hayes. 5. Remember, this meeting is being recorded, played live on Channel 9, and it will be replayed on Channel 9 and also available on the YouTube site. As you need, if you want to access it, it's that's it for the preliminaries. Moving into the work session. The first thing on that section is a joint meeting with the Capital Planning Committee, which includes 2 members of finance. So I think that's good.
Right. So I'm going to call to order the meeting of the Capital Planning Committee. We'll need to, let's do a roll call vote.
Carolyn Mazikas,
Mark Hussey.
Teresa,
Teresa.
Teresa Morse,
Natalie Call.
all present. On the agenda, I just want to say that we are going to do, when we get to it, I do have for an addition and deletion. I do want to have, for an addition, I am going to add a vote on our capital recommendations. We never actually did a vote on that, so I want to add that vote. And the only other thing under the preliminaries, I want to amend the minutes that we approved for 11/28, 1/16, 1/23, 1/30, 2/1, and 2/6. They, I was under the impression that Chris had left the committee, but he was actually just on medical leave, so I put him as excused absent instead of not mentioning. So that was the only change. So I'd like to make a motion to approve those amended minutes.
I'll make that motion that we approve the amended minutes.
I'll second.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So the first item that we have for under capital planning is there is a request. We're going to have to, we don't have the exact number because we are going to have to basically, we're waiting on the information from Unitil. But there was an item that came there, a proposal from Unitil to do a lighting-based proposal that would require a funding from the town, approximately $40,000, which the return on the investment only took like 2.5 years. We've already, the town's selectmen feel it's a good project. The Energy Committee spoke on it last night, feel it's a good project. We need, like you said, we're waiting to get to the exact quote, but we will have the exact figure by the time of warrant. So what we would like to do is to approve the adding to the capital plan the amount of $40,000 subject to change if we hear to Unitil.
What buildings were these?
It's mainly going to be police station and some of the town buildings.
Like maybe the library?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they'll make that determination when it has it, but I know for sure what the police station was one of the buildings. So, anybody want to second that motion? I'll make that motion.
For the 40?
Yeah, and like I said, subject to change by time warrant, by the time we get it
A
on the
reasonable
warrant.
change.
Right, a reasonable change. Yeah.
So the 40 grand's gonna come from capital?
Yes. It'll be a capital expense. And again, that's all subject to change too, as they start to build, figure out.
Now this would be, oh, go ahead.
What department are we putting this under? It has to have a department, right? It has to be
It would be under,
Facilities?
under facilities, most
Or be under
likely, yeah.
facilities.
Yeah.
So we just add to the capital
Right,
request.
so we denied basically everything under facilities, so this would replace what they did.
What's it going to do?
I think they're replacing the lighting with LED.
Right. So the fluorescent balusters
Right.
and the fluorescent.
I did have a question about whether they were gonna use the existing ballast
Mhm.
or put actual drivers in.
Okay.
Because that is somewhat, there's a longevity thing with that. And yeah, I just had that question.
Mhm.
That's,
So
but $40,000 is not a lot of money at the same time. It would certainly be somewhat of a benefit either way.
what did we deny facilities that we're not gonna give them now because of this?
Well, it wasn't because of this, but they had requested, I'll have to go back to it.
I'd like to know, I can't remember what the
Yeah.
question
Yeah.
was.
Wait a
The
minute,
window repair.
literally as we're
Yeah, it
speaking,
was mostly repairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
25,000.
so now they haven't, so now these windows are out of the ballpark again, one more time for the last 5 or 6 years. We haven't done this.
so now I'm confused because this just came in from Unitil, and let me see if I can share my screen.
Oh, okay, I'll stop.
So we're not gonna get the
Can
windows.
we, or
Well, I
You
don't
wanna
know
mail
if
it
was
to
that
me
gonna
and
come
I'll
under
share it
another
with you?
grant? We need to ask that
I'll let you
question.
share.
And
Just
what
to
else,
make
what
sure.
else?
Did you?
Yeah, can I
allow
share?
it to, sir?
Teresa, you want to screen share?
Yes, please.
Okay, stand by.
It may
Thank
not
you.
have been 204, but I didn't.
Okay, you're all set.
And then there was something else too. I'm going to the extra person.
No, but that was under finance, though, wasn't it? Not capital, that was
Oh,
under the
and
budget,
finance,
yeah.
This doesn't, to me, it
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
tell
I
me where the
understand.
costs are. Okay, so this is where the spending is supposed to be and where the incentive is. Cost and incentive for the project as submitted this was last year. But I was told,
I can't
we
see
had,
what it says. What does it say?
yeah.
Now I really can't see it.
Yeah, I thought I could make it bigger.
What does it say? I just can't see it.
The
What does
police
it say?
department is, oh no, this is KWH, right?
Yeah, so this kilowatt hours is the first column. The cost of the kilowatt hours is the second, and the incentive is the third column, but I guess.
What's the column on the left-hand side say?
This is what I
That's
have.
the building, from top to bottom would be police department, library, the senior center, and Memorial Hall.
Oh, okay. All right. Hmm.
So I guess what it's saying is the cost would be 41,096, but with the incentive, it's 38,882.
With the
So
incentive, it's
I
what?
guess that's where they came up with the 40,000. Because
Where?
it's the cost minus the incentive.
So, okay, so they're gonna do the police department, the library, the senior center, and I assume Memorial Hall,
Or town hall.
Right.
Town Hall, right?
Excuse me, I know that I'm just totally dim, but what do they mean by incentive?
This is, as I understand the program, this is the incentive that is coming from the Green Communities Grant.
Right, and the cost
Oh,
would
okay.
actually be 41,096, the incentive is 30,000, that I believe they would
Right,
be their
so
share,
we gotta pay
leaving
the,
us with the difference
right,
between 41 and
10,000
30.
here and 10,000 there, and that's where we came up with,
Yeah.
we'd have to come up with 40,000, approximately
Right, right,
$40,000.
Yeah.
But then again, and these are the figures from last year, we're trying to get the new figure.
the updated
But
ones,
if-
okay.
But if you look on a return of the investment that we would get for this, it
It would
it
pay
would
for
pay for
itself in
itself
2 years,
into
yeah,
2
yeah.
years.
Yeah,
Well, now, again, I'm really sorry, I'm just confused. $40,000 that we come up with to take $40,000 from a grant they're giving us. I don't understand the advantage here. I don't understand.
Why are we giving 40?
The incentive, okay, the cost, the actual cost for like the police department is
Right,
41,096.
right,
Okay, to do this retrofit, it would cost the town the difference between 41,096 and 3822.
right. I understand that.
Okay,
But then you said that then the monies would be coming from the green something grant that they got?
oh, I think that's a different project.
Oh, all right. I
Am I correct?
confused by the
People?
language then.
I don't know, I know it's an incentive, I don't know
Right.
which
This
incentive
is,
it is.
seems to me like a utility incentive and not a green energy, or maybe it's something the green energy audit brought up and that's what this is. I don't
Oh,
know.
all right.
I can double check with Ron.
Yeah, I believe Eric last week said it's not part of the green community.
Okay.
grant that
Yeah.
we received. This is a separate piece, but
Let me see if they-
overall, it costs us the 43. What we don't see is the cost of kilowatt hours and what the savings, because that's where we're gonna come in.
The
After we
updated.
spend the money, the updated.
Hey, Don, Josh Lovitz showing.
Oh, thank you, Josh. Appreciate it.
I'm actually sitting in my car. Is it possible someone actually can let me into the building?
Oh, if you
Is
keep
it
talking
closed?
because it's your meeting, I'll get them, yeah, town hall's closed.
Oh,
What is it? What is he?
one of the
wanting?
finance committee members just showed up.
Josh,
So this being a different project, I guess, with
Well, this is
45
why they asked us not to disband, because they wanted us to talk about this.
Okay,
And then we talked about it, I'm gonna start.
and I
sharing
guess,
from-
I guess maybe can you bring it up and refresh our memory on what
Let me see if I can get,
facilities has been
yeah,
changed where they didn't approve?
I can. And Andrea, I'm trying to also find the answer to your questions as well, to catch myself up, because,
Thank you.
yeah. Hmm.
That's actually right here.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So facilities. The big one, we were gonna try to see if we could get, remember, look over, I have to go to the last page there. They had multiple page ones. We were gonna look to see if we could get this. Well, first of all, it wasn't, I don't wanna say they were outright denied, but we're having a complete workup done about what every facility, every building needs in the town, and trying to come up with a plan on how we're gonna get that done. So that's
Mhm.
being done as we speak.
So it's changing.
So before the selectmen wanted to approve any of this as it was laid out, they want to see what this consulting group said what's priority.
Mhm.
Okay, so I want to make it very clear, it wasn't like they said no, it's just, they paid good money for somebody to come out and tell
And
us
maybe
what
Include
would
these
be.
projects.
But what they had on there was painting and trim the library roof and stone windows. Now, there's also the possibility with the rise that there could be something with windows or something through that, right, to that. But again, I want to make it very clear that they did not say that they were denying these.
okay,
They just
all right.
waiting for that to see, because they might come back and say, this boiler system is way more important, or
Mhm.
whatever. That's not gonna last you through the winter, and you need to put the money there, or whatever. Make sense?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay, but then when they came with this, their belief was that if we did spend the money, we're thinking 70,000, if we did spend approximately 43,000, whatever it is. On this, we could easily, we anticipate making the money back in 2.5 years and have the savings
In electrical
in the
consumption savings, yeah.
electrical consumption, and we all know that is one of our biggest.
It's something everybody's been doing for
Right.
5 years now at least.
Right, so.
Um,
So that is why Eric came to it, it was recommended, the Energy Committee recommended it, the Board of Selectmen already reviewed it, asked us to re-meet as a capital planning tonight to see if we wanted to recommend it. Or approve it and vote on it.
I don't understand, now, I don't understand that you explained it better. It sounds to me like this is just the cost of doing business. Why is it on capital planning? Is it just because it's $10,000 each increment?
Well, it's more than 10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not, for example, we have a cruiser on capital planning as a note because it's over $10,000. But whether you approve of it or not, they can still go for it because the extra cruiser, the replacement cruiser on the police department is a cost of their doing business. Why isn't this just a cost of our doing business?
My only question I didn't have answered, Andrea, is I don't know if it's the police can do one, the library could do another, or whatever. My understanding, but I have to confirm that it wasn't broken up. We broke it up to see what the individual cost was, so people could get idea, but it was a set fee that they had given to us.
For those
So it
accounts.
wasn't like we could tell the police department and then the library say, oh no, I don't have the money, and then just the policemen do it.
Right, because it wouldn't be equitable for them to do just the police department
Right.
and give that off. I guess just knowing that that's not gonna happen this year,
But when we do
be
come,
broken up or whatever, that,
but I mean, when we do come to balance, if there isn't money in capital, I think Andrea's right, we can say, look, you're looking for this, we put this in capital, but you police, fire, this, whoever's on there, you need to absorb this into your budget somehow, You guys can play with money any way you want. But we've been asked to start here.
So you're looking for a motion, right?
well, how much, where are we with the amount of money we're recommending versus what we actually have?
What, do we have anything?
Well,
this
yeah,
year?
that's an unknown factor, but at the same time, I'm just curious where our total previously was at before this.
Let me pull
And
that
again,
up.
I apologize, I didn't bring anything with me.
Yeah, well, and I don't have anything ready. No. I actually drove into Boston. That is like my biggest fear. And it was just as bad as I remember. 200 stoplights on Route 9. I don't know what is with that. Just give me a second, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
that's fine,
I know it's here somewhere. Sent it out to everybody.
well, it's not a huge deal, I mean, it's $40,000.
Yeah.
I think I would go ahead and make the motion that we recommend that project.
Okay. You got a second? All those,
She's thinking.
I'll second
all those in favor?
Mark Hussey,
it. Jerome Zekas.
Sandra Crowell.
And Teresa Moss.
it doesn't
Yeah.
affect the windows or nothing,
Okay.
because that's possible, that's a good,
Okay,
green.
I still gotta get the other thing up because we do have to, say what our final recommendations were.
Now, did we decide to not rate them in order, or did we? I don't
We can
remember.
go
You decide to what?
to rate them in order of what we, 1, 2, and 3, our recommendations would be, or I know there was talk about not doing that, so.
So what we did when we presented to them, but we can make our final decision right now. What we did when we presented them is clump them by, hoping we have enough capital funds for this.
Mhm.
But that didn't mean it was number one. And then maybe this is number one, but not use capital funds and put it up.
Oh,
the
and put,
bottom.
that's right, that's what it was, yeah, and use maybe free
So-
cash or,
Not necessarily put
Right.
one over the other, but fund it in a different way.
right, I remember that now, yes.
Yeah.
I think it's around 139,000, but that's,
I would have heard
Free cash?
no,
Oh.
no,
capital.
that on the capital fund, I thought.
So now we got 100.
About
Okay.
140,000?
No, we had.
Oh, I see, after,
Minus the 40.
yeah, okay, yeah.
I am so sorry. If you didn't ask me where it was, I'd have it right up in a second. Literally, it'd be here, right available. And for some reason, it is not in the folder it is supposed to be in.
Well, again, I don't mind if I ask for
No.
it, if anybody else,
If, no, we have to pull it up. Why don't, you give me a second, and if you have something you want to start with, then we can get back to this.
So are we gonna go by, department? Is for what they want for capital, or what are we doing?
We pretty much have done that, I thought, and we were just here
To decide
basically
whether
to,
we wanted to
for our
do
last
a
session.
bond or not, right? Basically.
So I
What do you
know,
think?
okay,
I miss a lot of what we've
Oh.
already talked about.
Oh, no, this is
Oh.
capital side, actually, so you're not missing
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, with capital.
I know it.
So,
Okay.
I don't want to.
That's right, I'm forgetting you're not.
Need to-
It
I'm
will
not the
come.
cat, I'm not
Yeah.
capital.
Yeah.
Might not.
Sure, oh, absolutely.
That's why I thought it was a good.
What?
Yeah, no, I agree, I agree.
Hmm.
Mhm. I will get it.
So what we need to know is the total amount for
Mhm.
each department
Right,
to figure out what we have, what we can spend, and where we're gonna get the rest of it.
Correct.
right. And I have that form somewhere, but I had to buy a new computer. And it did not, I don't
So I
know.
didn't bring my notebook with me.
I don't know. If for some reason it seems like it hasn't made it to my new computer, but it's got to be here, because I know I sent it out to the, I know where it is. I sent it out to the, no, I sent it out to the Board of Selectmen for them to review for the meeting, so it should be in their agenda as well. So let me go to this. But I did check if I thought I had everything on this new computer. That's what you get, trying to make your life
Oh, I
easier.
struggled after going from a company computer for years. Ah, yeah.
Okay, almost there. It's gonna be here, it's gonna be here, fingers crossed.
It's 1:46.
Oh, we should be done by then, huh?
We better be.
What do we got? Do we have a lot?
No,
I didn't think
because-
so.
Because Eric has just barely started.
Yeah, that's what we thought last week, actually, so that's good.
Do you remember how much the police were asking for, remember?
For capital?
Yeah.
So they
Number
only
wise,
have
no, but it was the
That was the
typical
documents.
Was it-
vehicles that were not covered in it. We
Yeah,
don't.
we don't cover that anyway.
Right.
but-
Okay, I finally
The
found
records,
it.
the records, and that was an absolute one, that was an
That was around
absolute
40
one.
grand. right?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
pretty cheap money.
how do I,
Oh,
I'm
here
gonna
we go.
share my screen again?
You should still have.
Yeah. I apologize, that took so long, guys.
Yeah, there it is, right there, 35,000 for the police, the records.
35, okay.
Yeah,
So that was,
Okay.
that was pretty cheap
So,
money.
as I
Yeah.
said, in my opinion, there is no difference of the need for this, like putting this number one and this number one. It's just the funding source,
Right,
okay?
right.
If we had to, like, put a number one, we'd have to, if you want to put a number one, I would put it here personally because they've been waiting so long.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That is an absolute must. I mean, and it's just getting older and older and worse, and it's $35,000.
Yeah, expensive,
Let's
yeah.
do it. I mean, really.
But we also can't go without dump trucks.
I understand that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
To me, that is,
yeah, whether we do one or two.
I think we should do
Right.
two again.
And what about the bond? What if we were to bond those or something, you know?
Well,
why
so
not?
we said before the board, one, to see if, look at the bond rate, but if you want to go for two, anyways,
Yeah, I would do two if we're doing a bond.
Yeah.
so right now for capital money, I have us at 125.
Okay,
We'll
So
take out
what
the 40,
What do we want?
take out the 40, right?
Oh, so we have to add the 40, right?
add the 40,
Add the 40.
And what did you say
the
we had?
40,000 for the lights, right?
Last I recall was
Subtract
it from
the amount.
39.
13.2.
I
I
need
think that adds,
to give you a solid number for sure, but
that makes the 125,
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah, yes, yeah, you're right. So do we add to that or is that included in it?
What? No, this would have to be added to it.
So that now,
Which is gonna change to
so that's one now
125.
65, right?
Yeah,
And this is, 40 was last year, so I think this might go up just a
right,
little
it
bit.
shouldn't go up that much, though.
No. And hopefully this is,
The savings may go up,
crap.
I hope so.
because the rate goes up, but cost of goods goes up too, so.
So we're at 165.
165, yeah.
For, bonds,
And the cat lease, we got no choice, that's,
we have to do at least 180, and we were saying, to go with 225 and include all of this,
Mhm.
but the select board did not,
weren't interested.
weren't really, well, as I repeatedly say, they have a study going on.
Right,
and
exactly, which
they
would take
want-
care of the trim,
So
the
they
bottom
wanna.
three, but the two Sanders would be.
So,
added.
yes,
That's a
they
whole other
really thought that was a good idea to look
Yeah.
into this. They
Mhm.
wasn't sure, maybe start with one, maybe one this year, one next year. They don't know,
You
how
know,
they
it's
wanna
actually
do.
a savings because now they don't have to have CDL drivers.
Right,
Oh, there's definitely savings in there, but it's a new item, I guess, you know what I'm
But he
saying?
said he had approved information from other,
Other
towns,
towns that have been
right,
using it,
right.
yeah.
so,
he's gone without for so long, for so many things, for so many years. And I mean, the amount of people that he doesn't have and I don't know, I just think it's a right.
Well, if we would do it that would have to go in town meeting anyways to approve that as a bond, or as a.
Right.
So do we recommend that, or who recommends that? Finance has got stuff to say about it, I'm sure too, so.
right, we have to, again, take a look at this. I noticed the following years were listed on here, but if we have any ideas of what might be coming in, we can see what
Yeah.
the impact is.
What the impact, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like with 180 this year, hurt what's planning to come on in
Right.
26, 27, 28.
I know it's a
And we
stupid
can
question
show
though,
our-
but do we have enough people to drive these things?
well,
You know what I mean? We're adding 2 trucks, do we have
well, I
employees
think that's
to
not
drive
gonna
them?
be the problem. They don't think that's gonna be a problem.
Because of the non-CDL.
Right.
The non-CDL
Okay.
becomes an issue,
Yeah.
and, all joking aside, the CDL's real problem is we have legalized dispensaries
Right, and
here,
they test you for that
but
and you
you
can't.
get tested
It's a
and
federal license.
you can't, that's part of your CDL license,
Mhm.
so it makes it very
Very hard, yeah.
hard to find CDL of license, and not that I'm saying we want people that are
Drug addicts.
drug
but,
addicts,
I understand,
stone,
sure.
driving a stone
Right,
plow, but
right.
certainly somebody that has a relaxing weekend, 2 weeks later can go plow a road,
Yeah.
so the question
Oh, that
is,
yeah, I totally get that.
so the question is, what, as the capital board, we did present to the board at minimum, we want them to go out to bond for one. Do we want to say, do you want me to put up the whole thing that they have facilities so we can see what they have in the other
Yeah.
item? Okay, let me pull that up. That I should be able to get to really quick. Now that I said that, of course I won't. And that's highway, right? Okay, so they have two of these
That's the
Oh.
payment we have to
And
make. That's on the
that's the
last of the
payment.
lease.
that they have to make. I
Yeah.
don't know where we captured that. I'll have to look at. That's another payment on the lease. And then this is another one of these. They just figure
Right.
it's gonna go up. So maybe one this year and two next year if the program works out well.
Well, the thing
Or
is,
two this
nothing gets
year.
cheaper.
Right,
Everything goes up.
There's generally a wait period.
right.
Exactly.
Well, that was the one good thing. Right now, that these are still sort of new, there isn't a wait period, and that's what his concern was too. If we try to do that, one this year, two next year, we might run into that, like they're running in for wait here. Then are gonna need a true dump truck plow sander, by 27.
Mhm.
28, will, again, we're back to he does see using these again and replacing them up.
Mhm.
So that's where we are with these.
I wonder if we have no more leases by the looks that are due
No.
if you look it forward, so. Because that was something that always, yeah, okay, we'll lease it for 5 years
Yeah.
or 3 years, but
Yeah.
people would forget, next year it's in the budget, next year it's in the budget.
Yeah. And
You've
that's
gotta
the
show
end of
that.
it in 27, 31.
Yeah,
So what was, Highway's total budget that they wanted?
For this year?
Yeah.
373, is it?
Yep, 373,200, and we cut it down.
Actually, we didn't cut it down.
Well, yeah, no, because we
Well, it
didn't.
would be capital we cut down,
Right.
yeah. The rest would be a bond,
But what we presented was only the one
the one truck,
vehicle this year.
and of course, the cat loader payment. I don't know, what do you think, Jerry? And you said the Board of Selectmen are,
They thought that it was a good
good
out of
thing
the
to bond the
box
two?
thinking to think of a bond.
I think, and again, it would have to go in front of the town.
Yeah.
So, I could recommend that, we do the 130 or whatever it was, 30,000.
I'm sorry,
It wasn't
why wouldn't
30.
you combine, why wouldn't we do both?
Do,
Do the both dump trucks now?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then we'd have the cat loader lease, the last payment that would
Yeah,
go to
I gotta put
capital,
that in.
because it's already in there.
I think we should do them both.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would recommend it because, that we do the cat loader payment
Yeah.
and then not have the sander dump trucks as, capital, but as,
Okay, and I'll put the other payment in here. So that would be the lease. And I'll clean this all up, but
Yes, the only thing from facilities, I mean, from highway would
Was it?
recommend would be the cat lease payment.
$13? Did he write that right? I guess so.
And he had some other good, recommendations on these because they're much easier to get through Tenley Park than the big ones.
Right,
I did question him on, what about doing Route 13? And he said, nah, not a problem, so.
well, like I said, nothing gets cheaper, it's just gonna get more expensive.
More expensive you can expect, but like he said, we could end up with the problems if they get more popular and then we can't.
And
we
you
can't get them,
we can't
true.
them. So we're going to recommend both
Mhm.
bond,
Yeah,
and then these we're gonna say hold
because
to
it may be green.
the end of the approval from the, I don't even know what they're calling that committee or whatever it is, but
Yes.
hold until feedback.
From building evaluation.
And the only other one is we had the,
Housing on elderly.
counseling
Mhm.
aging.
Yeah, I know. I get it
Whatever. So they have made arrangements with, the, either here or down there. They're not gonna be able to house it there permanently inside the fire station, but anytime there's snow, somebody will put it
So
in
was that
there.
at the old center fire station or the?
I believe so. But somebody's gonna move it in if there's snow, so it won't get snowed on. So,
You're gonna use
so,
this fire station over here?
what?
That's the,
Is it the main, the active fire station?
or are you talking about the one across the street from the fire station next to Dunkin' Donuts?
The old center.
I think it's the old one, to tell you.
You
the
think they're
truth.
going in there?
That's where I thought it was, but I'm not 100%. Where is it now?
Fire station?
No,
No,
the
the
van?
van.
It's not snowing, so.
What?
No, I know.
Well, it's outside now. It's gonna
I'm gonna
be
say it's just a-
I
inside.
mean, what do they clean
it's
space out
snow.
every time it snows and go, okay, you can bring
Then
it in?
they-
Or if it's
yeah.
open, let them park it there, jeez.
But then there's always gonna be more talk once they sell the car. People are
Right,
gonna
yeah.
be, you know,
Oh,
there'll be
Oh,
some.
that Rolls
there'll-
Royce is
oh,
in there
okay.
now. Ah, I
There'll
get
be,
it. Yeah,
there'll be
yeah.
a big
town
raffle, you
car.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they.
that building right there?
I believe so. I think that the car that was the.
So that's not
town-
the fire station, that's just a building, that's just a garage.
Depends on who you
So-
talk to.
No, right here, you can see out the window.
I know.
It's not a fire station.
No, they had it. Oh, is that what
No,
it is?
that
No,
is-
it's the center fire station.
There's one in there.
Yeah, right,
permanently.
right. That's
It's
permanent.
the second
Okay, oh,
one.
the second one. Okay.
Right, right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So do we need a motion on to accept this
So,
new
I mean,
plan? or-
Wonder how that floor is.
Yes. Let me just make sure I have it right. So I'm gonna say it and we'll see. I get, no, didn't get it. Oh, yes, it's not working. Sorry, guys. I am like. I used to be a whiz at this. I mean.
Well, would they take the van even out if it was snowing?
No.
They would?
Again,
They don't
it's gotta be cleared off. I mean, we have the rules that the van has to be cleared.
Right.
So if it snows overnight and somebody has appointments to get to and they have it booked, they have to go out and get the people to the
Even
appointment.
if the state says you're not supposed to go on the road?
Well.
Well, no,
that
the
might
state,
be-
you can't have the high, even if the state says
Yeah.
you're not to go, I don't know
You
about
can't.
that.
I think, yeah,
I
but
mean, but they're worried about having snow on it and
Yeah.
no way to get it off the
Right.
day after the
Because there
storm.
were
or even 2 days.
activities at the senior center that
Yeah.
couldn't get people at it.
right.
Right.
I do know, like with the DAV van coming here, it's, will be less of a problem
Yeah.
because DAV will cancel
Yeah.
appointments. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
want the people on the road,
Roads,
no
right,
matter what,
exactly.
whatever. Okay, so what I am going to do, I'm going to ask that we vote to approve the capital recommendations as such. $178,200 to come out of its capital expense to be spent, 35,000 for the record management projects for the police, 78,000, which is a mixture of capital funding, 76,800 mixture of capital funding and
Ambulance, yeah.
for the ambulance, and
And
they're
what's
gonna
78,000?
supplement that with ambulance receipts.
Mhm.
The highway department is, the third payment of 5 payments of $13,200 and approximately, and I'll update this, but it's, a incentive payment, the additional money needed for the Unital, incentive program, of $40,000.
And that is subject to change, right?
That is subject to increase slightly. Additionally, we are recommending that we go out to bond for a total of $360,000 for 2 CV plow sander dump trucks. I have photos if anybody wants to see them. They're very, very pretty. And then finally, we did have requests from facilities. We're gonna hold until we get feedback from the building evaluation and the council on aging carport. They were willing to discuss alternative solutions, and it appears the solution to have the vehicle housed when it snows is gonna be acceptable.
Sorry, one question. Is the lease back up the top,
The 30, whatever.
13, 13, 2, tier 2?
Yeah.
Are there 2 leases or 1 lease?
It's probably on the
Oh,
one
you're right.
cat
No,
loader.
I put it in twice.
Oh,
So what's the total that we would go out for bond for? What is? the
Thank
total?
you. The total, wait a minute, let me get this up.
I don't know, change it, yeah, 165.
1 second. The total we go out for bond is 36.
Oh, you're
With
missing,
the 2.
you're
Right?
missing a 0 on the 36.
No, it's 360,000.
Do I get it right?
Oh, 1,000, that's a comma, I apologize.
I'm sorry, but I shouldn't have said 36.
No, no.
360,000.
No, that's perfect.
But I did miss that I put that twice.
Yeah.
And bond was up, what, 5 years?
This is the third payment of 5 years,
Mhm.
correct?
But
On
if
the,
you go out for
on the,
bond on these other things, it's 5 years, right? Is it a 5-year
For the
bond?
360.
So the bond, they can be multiple, they could be longer than that because these dump trucks have a life of,
20 years.
20 years, so they can be up to 15, technically up to 20 years.
Yeah.
So if the bond rate is really good, they might consider it 10.
10, yeah.
Which would be great, because they're looking for another loader later, so.
Mhm.
If the larger plan, when are other things gonna come in? So if we take the rest and put it out, we may find that the 10-year is the right bond. If things aren't gonna come on the list until 5 years out,
Yeah.
we could do a three-year bond or 5-year bond on these, get it done, paid off, and let the other stuff come on
Right,
to the plan.
and absorb that then, yeah.
Yeah, so I think this is a good start, and it's kind of like, but I think overall, we need that future look,
Right, the 5-year plan.
the 5-year
Well,
plan.
capital kind of has been good
It's
about
looking
that.
at- Yeah, I've
you
seen
know?
the other years, we
Right.
just have to play with that, and, so that we can recommend the right bond length line
Agreed.
going out.
Yeah.
Excuse
Okay, I'll
me,
make I'm sorry, go ahead.
just a reminder, you said that on the Unitil money, that it might be slightly higher. You do remember that on town meeting floor, we don't normally, now, the moderator can decide that it's not a significant amount, I suppose, and do it, which he has done once or twice in the past. but you can't go for more on town meeting floor. You can cut your budget, but you
You
can't
can.
raise.
No, I
it.
see. Yeah.
We anticipate having the correct number long before the warrant.
That's what I was wondering.
Great.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
And by the way, on this, and it is in the SharePoint, it just took me forever to find it. I do, on the bottom of our recommendations for this
Yeah.
year, I do have, what
The-
they're
the
looking
following
for
years.
going
Yeah.
out here.
Okay.
So,
I thought I had seen it. I just,
so
Yeah.
I know it's on in the individuals, but I thought
Yeah.
I'd put it out like
Okay.
this
Yeah.
too, so
No, I
that
think
you
that's
could
good.
see it, to
Yeah.
get some ideas to help you look at
Mhm.
that.
okay.
Okay?
Yeah. I will ask if you forward that to me. and
Okay,
Maybe
sure.
I'll mess with it a little bit.
Oh, yeah, make it neat, because I certainly have
Just do, let me play with it so that there's some totals up at the top.
I used to write macros and everything. I don't know what's going on with me anymore. I can't even do sums anymore. This is ridiculous.
No,
Okay, any questions? Andrea,
Nope, I'm all set now. Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you for your questions.
Okay, I'll make the motion. We accept the capital plan recommendations as we just discussed.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And okay, I will get the final minutes out and we will be good to go.
Perfect.
Now, are we disbanding the,
Yeah.
or are we carrying on, or what are we doing?
We were told to just keep going because of this.
Okay.
but
Okay.
We should
So
be
we're
good
just
to
going
go.
to adjourn the meeting, or continue the meeting? Yeah.
Excuse me?
Are we continuing the meeting or
No.
adjourning?
Oh, somebody can make an motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
I'll second that motion to adjourn.
Okay, we'll make a motion to adjourn the capital planning meeting at 4:58. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now
I
stay,
need
now we
5
got,
seconds before our
finance.
finance.
Excuse me, is the finance committee still meeting?
The finance
Yes.
committee is gonna go for a bit.
they
Okay,
got
thank you.
lots more work to do.
Yeah, so only the meeting within the meeting has been ended. So thank you, Hartley, for checking.
And thank you guys for being patient with me taking so long to
No,
find
it's,
that.
it's always the thing, you know it's right there at the.
Can't find it. Yeah.
Well, on my own computer, I knew where it was, but I'm just like, I know I put it here.
Okay, Natalie.
Got another meeting to go to. at
Yeah, me
7.
too, me too.
DAB. Thank you.
I'm also gonna forward you that email from the Energy Committee.
Okay, yeah. Wait just a minute here and we'll continue on.
Okay, so the rule is get here at 3:59.
That's right.
Not
before-
4 or 5.
Before the walk. Yeah, before the walk.
I remember that.
Except for Tuesdays.
Except for Tuesdays, I'm good.
Tuesdays it's open till 6.
I was getting my haircut next door.
Ah, okay.
And it was I'm like, wow, this is really taking a while.
Oh. Did you leave it open?
No.
We have to leave it open.
Oh, in case.
Open
somebody-
meeting law.
I have my phone.
Oh,
All open.
okay, yeah, I don't have anything.
Yeah.
And I didn't think rocks were good.
Yeah, that's what they use as a rock.
Well, now we're talking about leaving a rock open. I see.
Yeah,
how
we
it's-
have,
I
we
see
need a
how it's-
rock holder now. Yeah.
You know, again, that's one of those things that's supposed to be handled, the opening and closing of the door for meetings by IT. We are not managing our contractual agreement. very well in a lot of respects. And IT is one of the other ones. Remember when Kathy was there the other day? They said they could not fix her phone and they wrote it off. They bought her a printer that was not that she can't use. She has to use the town printer. That's just a waste of money. I think we could, when we're talking about savings in general, managing our contracts is one of the things we have to do, or we have to see is done to save money.
No one manages the contracts.
I don't know that we, no, I mean, at this point, I think we have one person that's in charge of it. And if there's not enough, I mean, I think it all falls on the shoulders of Eric at this point to manage all the contracts.
Contracts, right?
Or
But
if,
technically speaking, if people can't get in, the public can't get into a posted meeting like this, whatever we do tonight, whatever the capital planning company did, committee did, is null and void. It means nothing. It's just a waste of time, and therefore, in a sense, whether you're paid or not, a waste of money.
Nobody does it. No, they used to. Who opens it? Somebody has access to that computer that runs these readers.
You're supposed to have to dial into the meeting, make an announcement that you're in the meeting, that someone can come open the door for you.
Oh,
That's what I had to do.
If that's the case, then there's a little button up here that you go ding. Okay, and it unlocks the door for 30 seconds and somebody comes in.
I had to
That's
download the Zoom
ridiculous.
app. I'm like, all right.
What they used to do was, when they had meetings running, was the selectman's office, I don't know who they're, but would see that the doors were open from say 4:30 to 9 or 10 or whatever.
right. Yeah. And then, if for some reason,
It's just a little crazy today, Eric in the hospital.
oh, that's right, yeah.
Oh, because he usually,
He
Okay.
he would usually do it.
Yeah.
We got it open in time.
Eric,
We got it open in time, and I'm sorry that Eric isn't well. However, this meeting wasn't posted just today either. This should have been taken care of, the opening for the door, when the meeting was posted.
Gotcha.
can they program like far ahead? to-
I think you can program
you can program anything in there.
in the head, it's fine, so we'll take it up with Eric.
It's really smart, so, they are.
Okay, so
Whatever you want to do, it does.
we'll come back into the finance committee meeting. The joint meeting with capital planning. I appreciate everybody's work on it. So that's finance committee members and as well Tracy. It's a big plan and it's a lot of work to get it coordinated. Next was the status of the omnibus budget. We had the preliminary budget provided last week. Eric was starting meetings with department heads. The reason Eric's out is his Achilles tendon is torn.
Oh, man.
It is the Achilles tendon, yeah.
But that's my understanding.
Oh.
Yeah, they didn't
I apologize.
100% confirm it, yeah,
I'm
but-
sorry, you didn't hear that. I'm not disseminating something.
HIPAA violation. HIPAA police are coming after you.
So, there was a little bit of work done. Eric had discussed it with us, last week, in regards to the town clerk elections budget. That instead of trying to increase the budget for, the fall elections that are gonna be in FY '25, just put in the elections budget, the standard elections, that we have, the 2 a year, plus town meeting.
So reducing it then?
Reduce it, but then have a warrant article that funds the extra elections in a presidential year.
Oh,
Out of your budget.
So it's,
why would we do it that way?
two things,
Yeah,
you can see a level budget year over year. And when you have the presidential elections, you have the warrant article to take it from free cash.
Wouldn't you just explain that?
You can explain it, but, you can a bit more do
Right.
budgeting and 5 years out if you've got that.
A solid
Now,
number,
and
okay,
very
yeah,
similar,
a solid
um,
occurrence.
We see that in the assessor's budget. Every 3 years, the assessor has to go out and reval.
Right.
And so every 3 years, we have a warrant article for the,
Oh, we do? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
very similar, we would be following that same pattern.
Okay, sure, all right,
Of
yeah.
doing a warrant. So it didn't make a lot of sense to me when I first heard it, but
Mm-hmm.
when you start paralleling it to the other departments, when there's an extra charge, an extra election, that sort of thing, it's,
I didn't know we did it with the other guys, the assessors, so, okay.
yeah, it's kind of like we saw the assessor's budget and the $5,000 line was missing this year.
Right,
Because
right,
it was a warrant, it was added
right,
into
so it
the
looks like
warrant
a
article.
savings,
It looks like a savings when it's gonna come back.
it's coming back next year,
Or
yeah,
3, 2 more years.
2 years, okay,
Yeah. So,
yeah,
So it's just a little bit more of a way of managing that, trying to do a smooth budget year over year.
Mhm.
And you can plan that with the exceptions being handled.
and that would show up in the 5-year plan,
It'll show up in the 5-year plan a couple of times that
Right.
it would, elections would come on every 4 years.
Yep, yep.
And, the assessors would come up every 3 years. So we don't have a lot of work on that yet. He has, so the work on getting us, the omnibus has started. Did anybody look at the BVA and have questions about?
Did you send that? I missed it if you did.
I thought I had.
I've been-
And you had asked for it again. I thought, I'll send it again.
Oh, okay, yeah, I might have got it, and I apologize, it's just been my grandson's here this week, it's not been productive.
I think the last one you sent was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
It was around the 6th or 8th.
Yeah.
And you have an updated one from there?
Well, we have the 8th, so we have it through the end of January.
Okay,
I think that's the latest one that's
Yeah.
out there.
So that's the piece. So, I just highlighted a few lines.
where are we with that? Can you bring it up, or?
I will bring up the BBA. And it's like, where do we wanna start? It's gonna,
We talked about this a little bit last week.
Right,
yeah, so
so this hasn't changed then?
this has not changed.
Okay, I got it.
I mean, we can, but you're then going and counting weeks.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
right.
we are in the weeks, sorry, I'm gonna go shrink it. Damn it. So it blocks it off a little bit. But we don't see it on the screen. Okay, so,
It actually didn't look too bad last week, there was just a couple of them.
there were just a couple. I had blown it up. Let me see if I can shrink it just a little bit again. So, and again, I just highlighted a lot of things, like office supplies. Let's put the highlighter back on. We'll highlight the whole line. So the office supplies, this is, I just highlighted it, we're at 75%. And so I'm thinking that should be a little higher next year.
Right, it is the cost of paper.
It's the cost of paper, cost of phone, that
Stamps,
sort of thing. And we're sitting at 75% now, and roughly we should be about 58, 59% of.
And is that reflected in the submitted?
Yeah, exactly. Is it something we want to see reflected more towards an actual next year?
Oh, absolutely.
That kind of thing. So I just went through the BVA to take a look at a few of those kinds of things. And some other things I highlighted. There was a special town meeting article, and so we have an account on there. Let me blow it back up again. It's kind of like, it's hard to see.
I think what you're about to highlight is thematic though, right? We have a lot of these special accounts.
We have a lot of
Yeah,
special accounts. This one we voted last year, but I recalled it being $11,000.
That's interesting.
So I highlighted.
Did you
it.
go have a chance to look back?
I haven't had a chance to
Yeah.
look back yet, but, so these are the questions going through. I don't think we did the work, maybe we did do the work, and this is the resulting balance. Because we were
Oh.
supposed to redesign the website and launch a new website. I thought we were still using Civic Plus.
Did they do the new website?
That's what we need to find out. I don't think we did.
I don't think
feel
it's
like
been
the
updated.
same.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
not
like
done
the
yet.
same.
Yeah, they don't update the boards, he's still got you as vice
No.
president.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Oh, yeah.
But
It's
You know,
still in
nobody
the-
doesn't, nobody.
I don't even exist on there anyway.
Yeah, there you go, there you go.
I wanted-
We are, it's still in the process, we're hiring, we just went through the process of, hiring a webmaster, and it is in the process, so.
Yeah, Harrison's gone, so. it's
Oh,
kind of- We fell through. Yeah. Yeah,
Well-
Harrison was good for the town, but he's.
Moving on.
Who's gonna do
Well-
this?
Oh, good for him. Good for
Well-
him.
Well,
Well, there's a lot, there's a whole
okay,
lot of
well,
water in
I
it.
won't say that. That was my understanding was Harrison was gonna move on.
Harrison has moved on.
Yeah.
Harrison's company, as a vendor, has not.
Okay,
Okay.
got it. Smart kid.
And he might be our new webmaster. Well, no, he
Yeah,
can't be,
his
the
company,
vendor
yeah.
might be.
The vendor might be. Then, again, highlighted, this is, at the annual town meeting in 2018, we had an Article 14 to do secure documents, there's 1,070 still in that account. This is one of those accounts we have out there with some money, so it's worth taking a look at and seeing if the project's done, if this is just an extra balance that we can
Push
have.
forward.
Push forward, bring it back, have a warrant article.
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
Buys back the money into the general. fund.
This was an issue with capital money too.
Mhm.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Hang on to it for years and,
Right, so because we have the full listing of this, I've highlighted a couple of these lines that we can go in and ask Eric to take a look at, double check. See if we can pull back some of the money.
There's a number of examples like this.
Mhm.
Right? Like we talked about a couple last week.
right, right.
That are just like this, where it's just sitting there. What are we doing? Is the money spent? Is it not spent?
Right, yeah.
And where is it?
Right. Yeah. Here's one that I will highlight again.
I almost feel like there should be some sort of, I don't know what you call a rule that after, the account sunsets after a
Goes to
period of
free
time.
cash.
And then just, because if you could have like, having $1,000 sitting in something that was passed.
Mhm.
Yeah, we went
5,
through
6,
it
7
last
years
year or the
ago.
year before and cleaned up a lot of it.
Right.
It went for years without
Was it the
being
year
noticed.
before?
It was the year before.
Yeah, yeah.
Ross Perry
A
did.
lot of money.
Yeah, it actually saved us a little bit too.
Right, we were able to take it and then, I think, put it a
Dig us out of the hole.
little bit.
Is that Andrea?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe- Yeah.
at the end of the year, or near the end of the fiscal year,
Mhm.
the accountant sends out a letter saying, do you have any more use for this money in this article?
Mhm. Yeah.
And so if the money is held, it's because the department head did it, not because the
Okay.
system did it.
And that doesn't show on the next year's budget. They see, you know what I mean?
No,
So we-
it's just money we're just holding and gaining
Mhm.
interest on, I suppose.
Oh,
Interest being what it is.
right.
So again, sorry, I shrink it down so I can get the whole line and we'll pull it back up. So just, again, it's just going through and checking some, the stipends for longevity. It's overdrawn by $200 on that line, which means somebody probably hit another level, triggered it. So that's just a check to make sure that we've got the right stipend, the longevity in the budget for this year.
It's too bad you can't project that and have it covered, even though it's not a lot of money.
Right. It's not, but if, you know, and you can't count on employees staying and when new
Yeah,
employees
true,
start.
yeah.
So it's a bit of a guess, but,
Mhm.
Why can't you predict that?
But you can,
think
but
that
like you
was
said, if the
true.
employee leaves.
Yeah.
I
so-
think longevity
so
would
it's
be
a plus, yeah.
exactly known.
It's public, it would be known, like now, you can do it. The budgets were prepared in, say, December and submitted January, first week of January. So
Right.
you knew what your employees were and you knew what their longevity would be coming up for the next cycle. If somebody leaves and somebody new comes in, that minor change, that would change what that longevity is. So
It would give you extra money though,
Yeah.
because when you first,
yeah, that-
you have
Yeah.
to serve so many years before you get longevity.
Mhm. Right, yeah, so you know, and that's the piece, needs to maybe be that test on years of service. And so you can see and calculate, is it gonna trigger up to the next level? Longevity, is it gonna bump the longevity? And the pieces, sorry, I got things on my screen. Up here. And again, the tax collector professional technical services, I'm assuming that's probably the payment service we have. And so here we are at the end of January and it's 76%. And that could be that there's a payment that's gone in. I just highlighted it because it's about 20, it's about 18% over if it's a level funded use account. So it's not any guarantee or anything, it's just a highlight to look at, nothing.
Just a quick question on the
Yeah.
stipends and longevity. That's the manager's responsibility to put that into this budget, right? Those are his and their
Yeah.
number.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was their number and
So I agree. I think you're right. No problem. Why can't we project that?
right.
You're not doing it for everybody, just a few people.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll take a look at them this year and ask those kinds of questions. IT, it's kind of like this has been a stickle the last few years. We had lots of different things we thought we had, when we bumped it up to 135,000 this year, we thought it was gonna be enough money and we're at 91%. And again, that's about, if it's an even usage account, we should be at 58%, so that's pretty much 34% over where we would expect it to be. So Eric was in last week and said that we're gonna readdress this. We're gonna split it out. We're gonna have the professional services line and we're gonna have the licenses line this year, so we can see the difference. Because that's the other piece, part of this 91% is the software licenses that we pay totally up front at the end of the year. So if we subtract that out, I think that was 30%, so we're probably on
Not that bad off.
not that bad off. It's kind of like, so, but it's a percentage number that just triggered in that was way higher than expected.
Is it possible Eric can ask, like, on the professional services, we're splitting out licensing
Mhm.
professional services, but how much
Yeah.
of that professional services stuff that, like, we're getting billed for questions and things that, I mean, I'm just saying, like,
Okay.
what does that chunk
Right,
represent?
so there's a couple of different things in there. We now have an MIS contract with Guardian.
Oh, maybe like an allocated amount of hours or something.
We have allocated number of hours. If we don't use them for questions in a month, it builds up into a pool.
Okay.
And so it's like a cell phone plan, and you pay monthly and you get minutes. Back in the day, or amount of data. And so we'll build up. So if we have a project, we can expend the extra time doing the project. So overall, it's a pretty clean model. And if we look at the line above, the MIS technician, that's an in-house person. So some rudimentary questions and remedial questions will go and be managed in-house instead of always going to the Guardian. So we try to save a little bit of money.
So we have an in-house technician?
Somebody that's an experienced user, let's say, and can handle the questions.
And they get paid for it?
They get a stipend for that work. So that was a negotiation with the union, I believe, so that he could take on extra duties, because it's not within his job function to be doing.
So it's not a town?
It's a town employee.
Oh,
So he
They'll be mean a special municipal employee.
yeah, there you go. Thank you.
okay.
Special municipal employee.
Say that fast.
It's got, so there are a couple of different things hitting there, and the percentage is sitting at 61%. So that line is looking like it's working the way it should. There'd probably be a slight increase in the stipend for next year, but that would be it. So there is a strategy, but that budget just looks like, it's high right now. And again, we can't differentiate the fixed part of it that we paid up front for the whole year and subtract it out. So this is just strictly a variance of how much was the budget line and how much have we used to date and what's the remainder.
No, I understand. Makes sense.
And town clerk office supplies, sitting at 72%. Again, she had already increased this, so going into next year, so that's
Stamps,
the stamps.
remailing out the
special paper.
the census, because nobody
Right.
bothered to respond. so.
Respond to it.
Well, that plus the state has given her new requirements on things she didn't have to do, like before on the census and things you could call it. Now you have to get,
Now you have to mail. Yeah. So.
And if you don't mail, then mail you another one.
Intend to do them
And hope for
anyway.
better
Yeah.
results.
And
Leave them there. Oh.
My household's just $5 on this line right here.
Yeah. So, and there were some lines that I didn't highlight, and I'll just highlight it now. The conservation dues and memberships, it's at 97%, but that's usually a dues and membership is a one-time pay for the
Yeah,
year.
that should be known.
That's a known entity. You pay it once at the beginning of the year, so I don't expect that line to go over. That's why I didn't highlight it. It's kind of like, but I wanted to point it out that there is a line with a percentage that, screen trying to do it. It's kind of like, come on, erase.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, we're erased. But like I said, I've gone through it. It's kind of like, as we get to the budget, I figure this is a good piece to look at.
Where we tracking?
Yeah, where we tracking, and is next year's budget accounting for where the
These
budget may be
changes,
this
yeah.
year. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, so,
All right.
that's all I had with that. And I had put department budgets, but I think we should skip over them till we get till Eric had the chance to work with, in these cases, facilities and fire, and come back with the finalized budget. We'll take a look at it at that point.
When is our next meeting? Is it Tuesday? It's six?
It is Tuesday, but at this point, do we need to have it? I don't know that Eric's gonna have anything for us, or that we can look at. Is there anything that you think we need to?
I don't at this time. I mean, unless
Right.
something new comes up.
We can post it and cancel it Tuesday noon.
Maybe that's the safe way, who knows what's gonna
That's-
happen.
Okay, so I will do that. At this point, I don't have anything that, I can think of that we'd need if it does come in. If nothing comes in and we don't need it, we'll cancel it.
Yeah,
If,
if you think that's it, you guys think it's the best way.
I think that's the best way. We had the dates scheduled.
Right, and that was,
just make sure-
was that a joint with, no, that's not a joint.
That's not a joint.
Yeah, that was their off time, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's the next meeting after that?
It would
It'd be
be
Thursday?
Thursday at 4 again, here.
Next Thursday, the 29th.
Correct.
I'm not sure I can be here.
I won't be able to be here.
Okay,
I'll be standing probably outside, but,
yeah. You,
no, I
it's kind of like, you're not the first one to stand out there.
no, I have to be in Boston on Thursday, so I can't.
Oh, that ain't gonna work.
We can take the train and home at 8:30.
But again, we most likely, unless something comes up, we're gonna cancel on Tuesday.
Right, yeah, and then maybe even Thursday, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kinda like,
Yeah,
and
we're
then-
cutting down time
We're
now.
cutting down time and it's kind of,
It'll snow then.
yeah, now it'll start. But, speaking of, see if I can get to it. The snow budgets.
So
Oh, we
should be looking good.
I was gonna say, we shouldn't be all salt, but
There were two lines that I highlighted.
That one, you know, 1,700% above.
Yeah, on the replacement equipment.
yeah, where are we with the snow budget?
Total snow budget, if we look at the bottom line,
132.28, all right.
yeah, so, but again, this is your budget. It can go negative. We usually move in about 300,000.
I know, yeah,
Of free cash at the end of the year.
right, and we're in a
So-
positive right now.
Right, well, right now, we'd only need to put 77,882 in.
Oh, I'm sorry, what's the last column on the 132.28?
That's the percent.
Oh,
over.
percentage, yes, I'm
Percent
sorry,
over budget.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Why wouldn't we just fund this right? 'Cause
okay,
It's a hard one, and if you don't use what you fund, you don't get, you can't fund any
you
more
can't
next year.
lower it next year. So,
Or lower it, I'm sorry.
But it don't, we have to be blowing through the budget every year.
we do.
Oh, at this point, on
Snow
this
and ice,
item, yes.
We do. And so ideally, a budget would be able to figure this in, but as we said, if we put it, and so we had, what, the total,
Last year must have been through the roof.
it was.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, so at the end of the year and, at town meeting, we have a warrant article that brings snow and ice whole.
Yeah, no, I understand. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, we need to get closer but not go over. It's kind of like, because if we had if you have a dry year and you budgeted 500,000, next year you have to budget 500,000 and maybe you only use 350,000 of it. So there's 150,000 that is.
I get the strategy
It's
behind it.
tied
I
up.
was just, I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I
if
think it's
worth asking the highway department
Yeah.
to look back 5 years and see how.
See what the
Look at the
is.
trend, we can look at how much the money was in each of the articles
Yeah.
at town meeting to bring snow and ice. You're right, if we had a good budget, and we didn't have free cash left over, it's kind of, that's a hard, that would be a hard sell of finding $350,000 a year.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, there's no way, we live in Townsend. I mean, there's no way that you're gonna have a dry.
Right, yeah,
I mean,
no,
so far this winter's been dry, which has been weird.
Right.
Right, I can remember
And-
8 years ago when we really didn't get much at all, so it's hard to.
it's hard to budget it, so you don't want to put too much in there,
Okay.
but you don't want to be
You want-
stretching yourself.
Right.
No, that's fair.
You know, so-
I get it.
So we have to.
And
look
one
at-
of the other things that happens is sometimes you won't have the snow. You'll have
The ice.
rain, but then you
Yeah.
have ice.
Yeah.
And ice is the
And-
problem.
Right, and the ice and the salt is the huge part of the budget right now.
Yeah.
And salt has done nothing but up. I think this was 125% higher than last year, what the budget was. The salt has just gone through the roof. So we try to capture that and,
I was just, I mean, we have to be doing this every year, but if it works, it works, so it's just.
So that's the piece. It's kind of like we can have that conversation and see if we can try to get closer without, you know, say add 100,000 to it. If you added 100,000 to it, all the moves that we've done in the last 3 years, probably, or 4 years, probably are 200 to 350 or so. So by bumping it by 100,000, it's kind of like, and looking at the numbers here for salt, even just increasing it to cover salt this year and put it up another 10% for next year.
Well, this is only through January.
And this is only until January, yeah. But I don't know if his salt is purchased for the year already. Again, so, you know, again, pieces and questions for our department when we get there. But again, I wanted, where we had it, I figured it was a good item to show up. Okay, that's all. Anybody have any questions? I know, Sam, you've been pretty quiet on the phone.
Well,
Any?
oh, mostly because it's muted here.
Okay.
No, I've been reading your notes. They look fine to me. The snow and ice is a problem, and you've discussed it, and everybody's kind of on the same page. We should be increasing the budget, you know, at least to account for inflation, because we never get close enough. You know, you're always 100,000 or more needed extra every year.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to be able to plan. That's my only thing, is because it's been under my the ability that would, like it was been said, even when it doesn't snow, we get a lot of ice.
Right.
You know, rain for storms turn into ice storms. So that's the only thing I have to discuss. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a problem.
Yeah.
Really?
I agree that we need to increase this budget some. However, we're right at the levy limit.
Right.
And though what money we don't use, if we raise it up to, I don't know, some huge amount, and there's a lot left over, it goes into free cash and we can spend it next year. But in the fiscal year you're talking about, it ties up all that money.
Right.
So that I don't know if we can afford to raise it to the level we need to in light of the shortness of cash overall.
Right.
That's
All
all.
right. Yep. No. Good point. It's kind of like, and we will take a look at it and see where it hits. I know I've mentioned it many times. When Eric's back in the office, I'll sit down with him and go over the spreadsheet I provided with the 5-year. If we can do something with that 5-year piece and take a look at it, so we have a 5-year view. And I know I've said it a lot, so it's kind of like this year we have to ask for it and see it.
And actually,
And
I mean, you provided a good tool for them.
Yeah.
This should not be a reason.
And the other problem you have is sometimes in old budget. You remember when we had that October storm and took down tree limbs and everything? That winter, that was a terrible one. The rest of the winter was relatively mild, but that storm alone killed us.
Yeah. Yep, you're right. It's the Halloween storm.
Yeah, that can happen anytime.
20 years over. Never missed it. That's the first time they shut the party down.
13 years ago.
A Halloween party up in Mason, New Hampshire at a sugar house.
It was 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, it was terrible. And afterwards, because it took down a lot of the oak tree branches, there weren't enough acorns for the deer, and the other animals. Oh, it was just a disaster.
And like, those people that have been here for a while, remember. It's kind of like-
I was going to work and the trees were down. I took went on a back road and the cop said, he goes, if you want, go ahead, but
Yeah.
you know.
Told you to just go home.
Yeah, well, I had emergency stuff to take care of, so.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, if I can interject right now?
Yeah, I was just gonna try to, to end because we have a 5:30 starting. So I'm going to thank you, Dave. If I would entertain the motion to adjourn at this point.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn the finance and capital meeting?
Capital's already.
Oh, capital did, I'm sorry, at 5:27.
I'll second
Thank
that.
you. Okay, and roll call
Gerald
vote.
Rozikis?
Mark Hussey.
Andrea Wood.
Sam Grant?
Josh Levitt.
And Don Hayes. We stand adjourned. Thank you.